If you looked at the most used part when it's a half-court game in the NBA, by a mile, the middle pick and roll dominates our sport. And by a mile. And it's like day second of training camp, you know, guarding pick and rolls. And so without getting into too much coach speak and technique, there are lots of pieces and the nuances are subtle. And by being great at those nuances, you actually have a chance. Otherwise, it's the hardest part of the sport to guard. Keeps coaches up very late at night. And those things we will look at on tape, but it's an area in general we have to get better at. Like, I thought our middle pick and roll defense stunk tonight. And I thought at times our defense in transition stunk tonight. And when you come in at halftime, you say, they got 42 points in the paint. Like, that's unheard of in a half. It's way too many. And for the rest of the game, they had 14. I think to be able to isolate and zoom in on an area like middle pick and roll defense, you get their attention a lot more after a win to say we won, but look at how poor we were here, and imagine, to your point, if we can get better at that completely. And so, you know, he's available and you have a decision. You just know he's there. And I thought that Amir was okay, but I thought, you know, we need a little bit of a jolt. And Richaun is sort of a lightning bolt off a bench with his energy and his speed. I like him rolling more than popping. He's a dynamic roller. And I thought to bring him back in, you know, and play a strong 10 minutes in the second half and do what he did, it was a tremendous boost for us.
You know, we just got to work on. They had a lot of it on pick and rolls, and the game plan was mentioned not a lot. We saw a lot of screens win. So we just need to do a better job, and you know, Richaun gave us a lot of energy. I'm glad to have him back, and I think we're just going to keep on getting better.
Well, we weren't sticking to our defensive principles the first half. That team, like, you got to give it to them, to execute it well down the stretch. We didn't stick to our defensive principles where we had to send the pick and roll left, and kudos to us for cleaning that up, coming in the second half, looking at our mistakes, and coming back, and I think we held them to 14, and we were able to clean that up. So it's just a learning process. You know, we look at what the problem is during halves, and we come out and just try to fix it. You know what I mean? We're not perfect all the time. There's been a few games where we can get it right away, but when we mess up on our pick and rolls or the coverage, we always come in at half and discuss it, and we fix it. Energy, man. He's been itching to play, you know, since the season. He brought so much energy to this team when his first bucket, man. I was definitely excited for him, and it's good to have him back.